Well, welcome. Too many people have questions about Christianity, about God, about Jesus, about the Bible, and too few Christians have answers. They have a faith, but they often can't defend it. What I'd like to do is deal with God, the evidence for God. Let me start with a very simple illustration. These are my glasses. I'm now at the age where, unfortunately, I can hardly see anything without them. Though that has benefits when I look at you and I can't quite see you. But there are about, I reckon, maybe about 8 different parts to these glasses. You ever seen glasses without a glass maker? You ever seen the design of the glasses, because they're all different, without a designer? Have you ever seen them put together correctly, like this? Have you ever seen order without intelligence? That's what we want to deal with. And so I would like to start with a very simple statement, and that is that a creation needs a creator. For me, it's reasonable to believe that a creation needs a creator. That tables need table makers, that chairs need chair makers, that glasses need glasses makers. It's really called cosmology, but I don't like big words. I just like the simple words and the obvious and the very particular. Paul Little said this: no effect can be produced without a cause. We as human beings and the universe itself are effects which must have a cause. We eventually must come to an uncaused cause. Now he makes a jump, who we call God. If I put it in simple terms, if you've got 5 fingers, and we'll turn it this way, and you draw a straight line, and between each one you pull down another line, and then draw a straight line, and pull down a line again, you'll notice that we keep moving from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. You see, it doesn't matter how many you start with, you must always have one to begin with. Otherwise, you cannot have that every effect must have a cause. And so he would hold to the wonderful truth, I think, that the uncaused cause is God. Let me quote from Frederick Heron. Like every cause, the cause of the universe must be independent of its effect. Thus, the first cause must be separate from the universe, not part of it. From ancient times, the Bible has clearly presented God as non-physical, a spirit who cannot be contained even by the heavens. Unlike other ancient religious writings, the Bible prohibited the making of images of God, making it a point to teach that he is not physical. And so the big complaint for many people is, if there's a God, I can't see him. If there's a God, I can't hear him. I remember in a school in Scotland, a kid in the front row. Well, he was slightly older than a kid. He was probably 17. And trying to make everyone else laugh, kind of sneered up into my face and said, "Mister, I don't believe in a God." I said, "Hey, your privilege. Why not? I've never seen him." I said, "You only believe in the things that you see?" "Aye." I said, "No, you don't." "Yes, I do." "No, you don't." "Yes, I do." "No, you don't." "Yes, I do." I said, "Then tell me, when did you last see the wind?" I said, caught you, eh? He said, "But I've seen evidence for the wind." I said, "Right. You've seen a girl's long hair blow in the wind. You've seen leaves blow in the wind. You've seen clouds blow in the wind. That's only evidence for wind. If I can give you evidence that God exists, will you believe in him?" "No." Aha. So your problem is not your mind. Your problem is your will. I don't care if there's evidence. I will not believe. And so the wonderful truth that we begin to look at is this: you cannot have a creation without a creator. Oh, there are those who would debate if the correct word is creation, because the answer is then fitted in. But there has to be a beginning for everything. And so here I am in the school. I'm doing a presentation, and in the middle of my presentation, a girl stops me. She was about 17 years of age. She was well dressed. She spoke well. I even remember her. She was over to my left-hand side, and she said, "Stop." So I did, as you always do when women tell you to stop. I stopped, and I said, "Yes?" She said, "That's the problem." And I said, "What's the problem?" She said, "The Bible." I said, "So what's the problem with the Bible?" "And what it says." So I said, "What does it say?" By this time, she was getting kind of wound up and annoyed with me. And she said, "I'll tell you what it says. The Bible says God created everything." So I said, "So what's the problem?" Now she was really annoyed. She said, putting her hand out, "The Bible says that God took nothing and went poof and created everything." Let me ask you. I said, "Do you believe in a God?" "No." I said, "Then you have a bigger problem than I have." She said, "What?" I said, "You believe that nothing took nothing and went poof and produced everything." I can't kiss goodbye to my brains like that. You're right. I believe in an all-powerful God who took nothing and created everything. You get rid of him, you don't make your equation simpler, you make your equation far more complex. And that's why I believe it's reasonable to say that a creation necessitates a creator. Over and over again, people have said to me, "Well, I hold to the Big Bang Theory." When you break it down, you find most of them who hold to it don't know what it is. But in its simple form, the Big Bang Theory is based on infinite density. Now, it's a very simple illustration. Is that infinite? No, I can reduce it. So is that infinite? No, I can reduce it. Then is that infinite? No, I can reduce it. In fact, infinite density means if there is any gap, small as it may be, it's not infinite density. So in the end, infinite density is what? It's nothing. And nothing plus nothing equals? Listen to Robert Jastrow. For the scientist who has lived by his faith in the power of reason, the story ends like a bad dream. He has scaled the mountains of ignorance. He is about to conquer the highest peak. And as he pulls himself over the final rock, he is greeted by a band of theologians who have been sitting there for centuries. I love that. You see, the more science discovers, the more it discovers is nothing plus nothing equals nothing. So that we have a vast change taking place in the area of astronomy and genetics. It's the biggest shift among scientists who are moving away from atheism, simply because the complexity of the universe and the unbelievable complexity of the genetic code indicates to them it is totally impossible to have happened by chance. So what does the Bible say? The Bible says this: the heavens, Psalm 19:1, declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Night after night and day after day, they pour forth speech. You know what the creation is? The creation is the visible evidence that the invisible God exists. I like to put it this way: it's his fingerprints. And if you have fingerprints, then somewhere you must have fingers. If you have footprints, somewhere you must have feet. And if you have a creation, somewhere you must have a creator. And the heavens declare, they speak forth, day after day and night after night. So every time you see the sun rise in the morning, it's saying, He's there, He's there, He's there. And every time you see the moon at night, it's saying, He's there, He's there, He's there. And every time the flowers come up in spring and burst into bloom, they're saying, He's there, He's there. And every time the birds cry and give their song, they're saying, He's there, He's there. And every time the wave crashes on the beach, it's saying, He's there. For the heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands. And they pour forth speech.